Hello families, I wanted to share with you today a family calming folder that I think would be very helpful for everyone to do together. During this difficult time, we spend an awful lot of time together, and you are probably noticing many different emotions erupting or coming out, and children really are only using the skills that they have, that they know how to use to manage and regulate those. So I want you to think about helping to teach your children how to manage and regulate these in the same way that you would teach them a math skill, or you would teach them a new reading strategy. So their behavior, however they're choosing in the moment, however their body is signaling for help because they're in distress, they're using the only skills that they have. And so as you watch those, they could be triggering for you. You could be wanting them to do it differently. So recognizing how you feel in their time of stress, breathing for yourself so that you can be calm and bring that sense of calm to them, and then helping to teach them how to do it differently. So I'm going to show you just a folder that I've used in many families and with many school districts that help give them a very concrete way of walking through what those steps look like and how that's going to be helpful to them. And they're going to be doing this when they're calm, just like they would be doing their math or reading. It's an adaptation from Managing Emotional Mayhem. So we're going to talk a little bit about the 5 steps of self-regulation. And I'm just going to show you a sample of a folder that I made, and then I'm also going to include pictures of ones that students have made. Now you can modify this for younger kiddos and for older kiddos. I've had a family that's using it as a fun activity that they do together. It's not something that they did all in one day, because there's a lot of conversation that goes on during this to be able to help them really understand that process. And again, we're doing it at a time when we're calm. So here is, I called it my self-regulation toolkit. And the first step of being able to regulate the emotions that we learn about in Managing Emotional Mayhem is the I am state. Now, the I am state is when you become overflowing with that emotion, that feeling, and it takes over. Your hands might get tense, your shoulders might scrunch up. So when you're working with your kids, being able to say, let's talk about what that looks like. When I get that feeling, what is going to help me be able to get to a space where I can help starting to try to calm my body? And in this case, we have done pictures. Kids draw them, or you can actually print them off from the computer. But when you are feeling like that, what visual can you bring to your mind, or what would help calm your body so that your shoulders kind of soften and your hands kind of become unclenched? So we're going to walk through that with our kiddos as a family, and you doing it with them and modeling. This is what really helps calm. When I'm frustrated, if I think about palm trees or the sun, my body starts softening up. So that's going to be that I am stage, that I am, and I'll have more information below this so that you can remember what that is. But the next stage, if you have older kids, we teach them about the brain. The more they understand about how their brain operates when it's frustrated or upset, the more they can help themselves learn to manage and regulate that differently, and understand why they're responding the way they are, and to know that their brain is trying to keep them safe. So it's working as it should, but we can do a little different with it, understanding when we're upset, what's going to help calm that part of our brain. So if you have older kiddos, I'll have templates there that you can help teach them about what their brain's doing, so they understand and can say, no wonder when I'm getting really emotional and I may be saying hurtful words, that emotional part of my brain is asking for understanding. Or if I'm in that lower survival state of my brain, I might be slamming things or throwing things or hitting. And in that part of my brain's asking for safety. I don't feel safe. So knowing what it's asking for, we can then teach them how to help themselves manage it differently so that they can get to that higher thinking part of their brain, that executive state where they can make safe decisions. Now, younger kids, this is more in depth for the older kiddos, but it's important that they understand that, because it gives them a sense of control over, this is what my brain does. Now, when it does this, what coping strategies am I going to create for myself to help myself calm down? But the second part is the I calm. And the I calm part is recognizing, once you get to a space in your home that could be your safe space, and you maybe have your own personal folder, what is going to help your brain calm down? Now, in Conscious Discipline, we have the STAR, where we smile, take a deep breath, and relax. We have the balloon where we put our hands on our head and we go. We have the drain where we put our hands out and we scrunch up our shoulders and our hands and we go shh. Or the pretzel. And the pretzel for younger kids could look like this. And the pretzel for older kids is thumbs down, cross your hands, bring it towards you, under your chin, the tongue on the roof of your mouth, deep breath in and out. So those are the 4 that Conscious Discipline has, and we have those templates on our website. And I just chose for mine just stars. And that's what I'm going to do as the adult, is I'm going to take 3 deep breaths and be a star. Kids make up their own all the time. We have Batman breathing, we have the dab, we have cupcake breathing. So kids will come up with something that's really going to help remind them, that visual that's going to help remind them that their brain's asking for help and they need to calm down. And then they can draw or they can print something out. So that this folder is going to be very individualized because we all find different strategies, different tools, different visuals calming. And so they would do that and we would do that together. Now that might be on a separate day because again, we have to pay attention to how long can they sustain engagement in what you're teaching. And it's really being able to have a conversation with them. And I give examples of how I might have felt or what I might have done to calm myself. Then another day, we would do the I feel part. Now the I feel part is once we're calmed down, we have to be able to name the feeling that we have. And when you're calm, you actually allow for that emotion to bubble up into a feeling where I can say, I feel angry. And recognizing that in feeling angry, I'm also going to give myself new language so that I am not judging the way I'm feeling angry, but I'm noticing more what it feels like. And I'm helping myself manage it differently with understanding how I'm feeling is angry, and it's okay to feel angry, and recognizing in my body what that's like. And helping kids be able to do that. Oftentimes, we have a printable. I just printed mine out, but I have a lot of my students who draw what the feeling buddies look like. They draw those pictures. They draw the eyes. And what it's doing is it's helping them become more aware of what their face is doing. And when they see that face on someone else, being able to recognize those nonverbal facial cues gives us information on how someone's feeling. And if we understand and have worked through it, we know maybe what we can do to be helpful in that moment. So there's lots of conversations we can have with our children as we're making these. And we could talk about a time I felt really angry and my hands got really clenched and maybe my shoulders kind of hunched in. And what did I do as the adult to help myself manage that it's okay to feel that way, and sit in that feeling and be able to be okay with that feeling without trying to change it. Then we also have the I choose. Now the I choose part is we talk a little bit about what is going to help us reframe how we're feeling, because I might still feel angry, but my whole body isn't angry and I'm able to be more safe. But I do need to get, back on track with either learning or help myself be able to reframe a situation, someone use the only skills they had, and be able to get to a point of solution. I've got to be able to have some choices. And oftentimes having a picture of family is very soothing for people. I also like to take a walk when I'm frustrated. So as I'm making this with my kids, I would talk about after I've realized how I'm feeling and I need to try to find a solution, I'm going to choose some things that's going to help me get back into a space where I can emotionally be able to solve a problem in a safe way. Listening to music or having coffee. So that would be a conversation where your kids would be able to talk about what's going to help them as well. And then we get to the I solve piece. And again, I just picked pictures off the internet that would help me, but sometimes I might have to practice a new skill. It's something that, maybe when I'm trying to work on the academics with the kiddos and something goes wrong, because I'm not understanding the skill, I might get frustrated. So I might need to learn a new skill. Helping your kids understand, sometimes you might need to ask some questions, and asking questions is going to help you solve the problem differently next time. I might need to start to practice breathing a little bit more. Maybe I'm letting my emotions get the best of me. So I'm going to take those deep breaths and be able to help myself calm, and maybe look back at that calming page to help myself calm down so I can manage my emotions in the moment so that I can prevent problems from happening. or I might need to do a face-to-face problem solving with one of my brothers or sisters or with a friend. And doing that, solving the problem, is going to be a lot more successful if we've walked through those 5 steps of self-regulation. That is helping to teach kids how to manage and regulate their emotions in a safe way. So I hope that this folder is something that will be helpful for you, this family calming folder, and it can be used in your family safe place. Your child can have it in their room. The goal is that we're trying to bring a level of awareness to them on what they can do when they start to feel triggered and upset with frustration or whatever, that's going to help them remember how to go through those steps. When they make it when they're calm and practice when they're calm, they're going to be more likely able to recall some of those skills when they're upset. So I hope that you enjoy the calming folder or self-regulation toolkit or whatever works best for you. But it's so important for us as the adult to model those steps with our kids. And I think this will be a fun tool for you to use. So I will be wishing you well.